Everything I do gonna be funky.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of the Ad-libbers.
Good morning. Good morning.
I'm your host, Tatiana, and around the table we have Kira, Tristan, and Emily, and of course, our cameraman, Nehemiah. Say hi, everyone. Whoa.
Hello.
What's up, guys?
We're a little sad today because we're missing our Lewis, but
Yes.
we
We
will
are missing
persevere.
Lewis, but we will persevere. And we have a very nice show for you today, specialized in our last production, Heathers. Yay!
Finally,
And
we are doing a show
We're finally
for you
doing
guys
a
about the
Heathers
musical.
show. I'm going to play the
Long-awaited.
spotlight because I love the spotlight. And it's spotlight on Heathers anyways. So let's hear it.
Everybody's got a little light under the sun, under the sun, under the sun, under the sun, under the sun. Red light, neon light, stop light. Red light, neon light, stop light. Red light, neon light, stop light.
All right. So we just had our final production. Like, as seniors, as county prep students, we just had our final production.
It's a very bittersweet thing.
Very much is, especially because I've been a part of the productions all 4 years, even the virtual one. Even the virtual one. We
Yeah.
had done Little Women, and it was virtual, completely virtual. But it's just very bittersweet. And
And it's our last
Emily
musical.
was our lead. Yay. Emily, can you tell us about your experiences on like being a lead, getting the role, your reactions? I know you have a long history with Heathers. Can you just tell us a bit about
and Miss
it?
Veronica.
And Miss V.
Hard. What was
Such a way with words. Like, what was hard about it?
The singing,
The singing. And what exactly did you struggle with in the singing?
high notes.
But you definitely made it your own, even still, if you couldn't hit the high notes. And you definitely hit high
But
notes.
like you
You
fully
literally
did
hit
the
them,
high notes. Which
but-
blows my mind.
Period.
Yeah.
Which song was the hardest for you?
Dead girl walking.
Dead Girl Walking. And that was a duet with Matthew, right? Matthew was our JD. He was supposed to be here, but he's not.
Unfortunately, he could not join us today.
Unfortunately, he cannot. But we do have majority of the leads here.
Yes,
Kira, you were also a lead.
I was.
Can you tell us
Something
about
like
your
that.
role?
I was Heather Mack, and I mean everyone in the room kind of knows like what my character was. You saw the show, right?
You were the yellow girl,
I was the yellow girl. That's it. I was just yellow, and my only lines were yellow.
like the yellow.
Fully
man.
joking. My character was like Tati's, one of Tati's sidekicks.
I was Heather Chandler.
Yeah,
by the
Tati
way.
was like,
Yeah.
The boss
I-
girl.
what's a good like
Regina
the Regina
George.
George of
I was
the
Regina
show.
George. It was so much fun. I kicked Emily at one point.
I feel like I was the Gretchen.
No,
No,
you were the
because
Karen.
Gretchen-
You were the Karen.
No, Farida was so the Karen because Gretchen has like a full blown meltdown in the middle of the movie and like
Yeah, but Gretchen's also trying to be Regina. In a way. Like her right hand. So I would say you're the Karen.
maybe.
Anyways, tell us more about like your experiences with the character and how you connected with the
How I connected with
character.
My experience with the character was really like up and down. Putting a musical together in general is so hard, especially now. So for most of like the rehearsals and the process, I kind of lost myself and the character in the fact that, oh my God, I'm at school from 8 o'clock in the morning to 6:30 at night, and I want to like go home and console ball and go to sleep. But once we hit like the end of it, the process, something flipped, and I was like, oh my God, I could have been playing a better character in a better show, and I
Yeah.
kind of like fell in love with the whole thing.
And I know at one point you were almost up for Heather Duke, which is Farida's character, and Farida is a freshman here,
Right.
and she killed the role. She killed the role, especially for her freshman year, and getting
Right.
that big of a role. She's amazing. The whole show was amazing.
The whole show
but
was
you were almost
perfect.
up for Duke, and I think
I
think
cannot
Mac was just a
imagine myself
perfect
playing that
character.
role. I will say, selfishly, I picked Heather Mack because she had a song.
because I told you that she had
Right,
a
and I remember that because
was like,
so
she
what
does
had
have a
happened
solo.
was it was a senior privilege type thing where I got to choose which role I wanted out of the two. And I was like, Tati, you know more about the show than I do. What should I do? And she said, I mean, I don't know, but Heather Mack has a song. I'm like, okay, Miss Shields, I'm going to be Heather Mack. And then as we got more into it, I'm like, oh my God, like this character is a lot more than like a yellow blazer and a song about a lifeboat. Like,
Definitely. And
yeah.
Lifeboat is going to be playing in the background. I know Kira does not like to hear herself sing.
No.
It's going to be playing in the background.
This would be my first time, like, actually somewhat listening to the
I'm
song.
gonna just let it play for a few seconds. You can see her genuine reaction.
Low in the water and nowhere to go. The tiniest lifeboat with people I know. Cold, clammy, and crowded. The people smell desperate. Will sink any minute, so someone must go. The tiniest lifeboat.
All right,
Guys, this is
that's
the best
enough.
part. This is the best part.
No,
This
no.
is the best part.
No, that's enough. All right, let's cut it short.
This is when she has her breakdown.
That's good. I don't want to listen to the rest of it. No, I'm being good. Sorry, I don't like. I hate listening to myself. I don't want to do it.
Hey, you did good.
You did really
You
good.
did really good.
You did very good.
I go based off other people's comments, and I heard I did a pretty good job. And
Everybody
I
was
proud
talking
of,
about your performance.
I was proud of what I did. I just prefer not to listen to myself.
And can we talk about that you've gotten scholarships for this?
We've gotten scholarships.
We've
for this.
gotten scholarships for this.
Money.
Yeah, and also, Ms. Shields probably told you. I don't know. I mean, we didn't share this with you guys, but we were nominated for what was it? Teen Actress.
Oh, I didn't hear about this.
We got two. You got 2 nominations. I got 1.
I did?
Or no?
Well, Tati's.
Yeah,
did?
no. I believe
So
you
humble.
got 2. I got
Oh,
1.
for Paper Mill. Right.
Was it Paper Mill?
the
No.
one where we
it
got
was-
the
No.
actual No.
No,
I
Ms.
don't
Shields
know.
showed me a paper yesterday. We both got nominated for something.
Oh.
Hey.
Well,
This is news for
I think it was
you.
something along the lines of a Grammy. I think.
A Grammy? You mean an Oscar?
No, I mean a Grammy, an Oscar,
An Emmy?
an
A
Emmy,
Tony?
a
Like,
Tony.
We're up for
all
everything.
of the above, a soapy, if you will, if
A
you guys watch
soapy.
Friends.
I don't watch Friends, but I'd like a soapy.
A Soap Opera Digest Award.
What?
We're so
Okay.
uncultured.
Okay.
A soapy.
A soapy.
So, like, one thing I'm very curious is, like, you have, like, a little prior knowledge to Heather's, right?
No.
Or,
I
so,
did.
Yeah, Tati did.
Kira didn't.
I had no
Emily
clue.
has
So, like-
seen the show
like 58
like 50 times.
times.
Like 50 something times. And she's been obsessed with the show since freshman year. And she's been bugging Miss Shields, the theater teacher, to do it since freshman year. So to do it for our senior year, I know it meant a lot to her.
Yeah.
So my question is, like, as a theater kid, like, when
Okay.
As a
Like,
theater
alright,
kid.
I don't mean to put it like that, but, like, when you're given something, like, is there, like, when you're given something, like, do you fall invested into, let's say, like Heather's, like, did you, like, have a following after that?
What do you mean by following?
Like, you gained
a fan
entrance?
club?
No, I mean, like, not really a fan club, but, like, you just, like,
A little. I know what you mean. He's basically
Yeah.
saying, like, did the musical spark any interest in the actual
Yeah.
show? Is that what you're talking about?
yeah, that's what I mean.
For me, a little. I kind of looked a little more into like the movie, and I watched one of the productions that Emily had sent me.
Mm.
I
Because
was
she has like
interested-
several productions saved
On her YouTube.
on her YouTube.
I was interested in it for a little bit, but then I realized like there's no production. Sorry. Like the one that we did.
Like every production is unique.
Is so,
but
it's all very
I feel like
different.
it's definitely more
and-
different because we did it in a black box and an
Right.
intimate setting.
And I want to
where
be
we could all
very
connect with the audience.
biased about it. I think that our show was like better than most of them that I've seen because I think that our cast had so like
The
chemistry
connection.
in our cast is like incomparable. Like when we say like, oh, the stuff that we went through and the stuff that we did together, like people think that's an exaggeration, but it's not. This was the most the most difficult time to put on a musical ever, and we did it flawlessly. And
we made a connection with like not even our own grade level, but like I have like freshman friends now,
like
junior,
I'm walking in the hallway
sophomore.
and it's like these sophomores, these freshmen.
These freshmen are giving me hugs, and I'm
Right,
like,
I'm like, oh my gosh,
gosh,
I want to protect you for the rest of my life, and I never want anything bad
like,
to
what
happen
am I
to
gonna
you
do
ever.
without
Like,
you next
right,
year?
Right.
Oh my gosh.
And it's like,
And I'm
it's
not
so
even
good.
being dramatic. It's just like the energy in like the room whenever everyone's in the room. Like it's just so
It's like another family.
Yeah.
That's the only way to say it. It's like another family.
right.
And it's so amazing to have that connection especially because it's our senior year, we'll never forget it. We're never
Right.
gonna forget it. And I hope we keep in contact. Like we have
I know.
to
We
all
have a
keep in
WhatsApp
contact.
group chat, and I think there's like 2,000 messages sent
A
every
day.
single
my
day.
gosh.
Not even a day.
No, maybe in an hour.
Maybe
like
in an
I have over 4,000 notifications from it from the past 48 hours. So
It's bad, but it's nice.
it's yeah.
We just talk.
But
About
they
random stuff.
talk. I don't even know what
I
they
chime
talk
in
about.
occasionally when they say
Yeah.
something, and I'll be like, okay, interesting.
But
But-
anyways, there's one Heather that we did not talk about. Miss Tati.
Hi.
Talk about Heather Chandler.
All right. I'm going to play Candy Store in the background. Candy Store in the background. All right. So, Heather Chandler. What to say about Heather Chandler?
What not to
What
say about
not
Heather
to say
Chandler?
about Heather Chandler?
You absolutely killed the role.
Yeah.
Thank you. Okay, so she's like the complete opposite of me. I'm not Regina George. I do not present myself like that either. I was the shyest person on earth before I did theater. So
No, you
to
weren't.
play that. I mean, Tristan has known me since like kindergarten, pre-K. So you don't get a say in it. But it's just to get into character like that, it's so much fun. And to play somebody who you're not and to like put yourself in that situation, it's just amazing. And Heather Chandler, what do I say about Heather Chandler? She's as good as it gets.
She's, how do we put this in a socially acceptable way? She's not a very nice person.
Queen Bee. She's Queen Bee. Very Regina George. If you've ever seen Mean Girls, right? No other way to describe it, Regina George. And to play her and then, spoilers, die on stage, it was just such an experience.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was so much fun. And then the connections that I made through this is like what's really going to stick with me and what stands out about the production.
Yeah.
Because it's just, even the dancing with John, our choreographer, absolutely amazing. Like, he's amazing. And even with him, growing connections with him and Miss Valerie, our vocal director, it's just stuff that I will never forget.
Right. Very true.
I'm gonna miss getting ready backstage and panicking and running across when the lights
We have
go out.
so many pictures of us backstage, like doing God knows what. We have
Me with the drain cleaner.
the drain cleaner, the rock face.
Oh my
Actually,
God.
Nehemiah can show us some pictures, like professionally done from the show.
Right, not the rock face picture.
Not the rock face. But you know who can do the rock face? Mr. Rodriguez.
That's a topic for a different show.
That is a different show
We're gonna have a
topic.
whole spotlight about
About Mr. Rodriguez and the
yeah.
Rock. And
exactly.
Mr.
Stay
F.
tuned if you wanna.
Definitely stay tuned. Nehemiah, can you show us some pictures? All right. Well, according to Nehemiah, he has a picture of the poster.
The poster?
Listen to Tati.
The poster.
The poster. Wow.
No, listen. Tati, I'm gonna say this though. Tati blew my mind every single performance. Like, Tati, like she said, she's nothing like Heather Chandler. I think everyone in this room can attest to that.
Yeah.
And just seeing, like, Tati threaten Emily's
on
life,
her.
turn around and be like, Emily, like, oh my God, I'm sorry. Like, you know, just seeing Tati, like, embrace this character and embody this character and then fully, like, turn around and then she's herself. It just, like, blew my mind every single time.
It's just like watching you guys. It's like day and night. You guys come off. You guys like are in your performance phase, like
Yeah.
locked in.
We did get, like, comments from it was Paper Mill?
Yes, Paper Mill Playhouse.
That
and
they
Paper
made
Mill
comments
Playhouse.
about us, and one of the comments that every single one of them put for me was that I was very focused. And, like, they knew that nothing was breaking that focus. And I have to thank Miss Shields for that, because like freshman and sophomore year, especially over Zoom, all we did was practice fourth wall.
Yeah.
And basically the fourth wall for us is the audience. So we pretend that there's a wall there between us and whoever's watching us.
So basically, the fourth wall, it's like, if you've ever seen a show, you know that they're focused in the scene. But sometimes they break the fourth wall and they turn to the audience and they interact with the audience. The fourth wall is basically what's preventing everybody from talking to the audience, interacting with the audience, stuff like that, reacting to what's going on in the audience. And a lot of shows require you to stay. Majority of the shows require you to stay in the fourth wall the entire time.
Yeah.
So
However, like, shows that kind of break that fourth wall are so much fun.
they're so fun.
So much fun to watch.
And especially when, I know Emily at one point, she was in the audience singing.
Yeah, she was like right on the.
She was on the
Yeah.
staircase.
And
And
that's my
first of all, she
favorite.
killed
That's-
it. And then she went down to the stage and started singing.
Yeah.
And it was like, I love having that little tiny bit of audience interaction.
Right.
Yeah.
Now talking, I'm so sorry to cut you off, but because she's not here, just to quickly touch on Emily, like we were talking about Tati, how like seeing
killed
Tati completely switch from character to herself, and another one that just completely blew my mind every single time was Emily. Like,
Not only
listen,
that,
like first of all,
her
listen to her
voice.
sing right now. She's just like so incredibly talented. I don't even know what to make of it.
And she's very, I'm going to be honest, she's very hard on herself. But she has literally no reason
she's
to be.
a beautiful
She's
actress, a beautiful singer.
Just amazing, like simply
yeah.
amazing. And she deserved Veronica 100%.
Yeah.
She's been longing for this role since like freshman year, since she discovered Heathers.
Yeah.
And to see her bring that character to life in her own fashion,
Right.
it was just, it was beautiful.
I had never seen Emily in a role like that, because when we did Chicago, she was
Cell
one
Block
of,
Tango Girls.
yeah,
I
she was one of the Cell Block
We
Tango
were
Girls.
chilling.
She had a little bit of a solo, and like that was really it. I had heard her sing one time in the talent show and perform in a talent show, and I
Her
was like,
talent show performance
oh my
was-
gosh, this girl is insane. And then insane in the best way possible, by the way.
Yeah. Like she had a whole costume.
Like, oh, you need
so
to
good.
need to watch this video.
I don't
We're
know
gonna show
where
you
we
what
could
they
find
look-
the video though. Do you
Emily
have
has it.
She definitely has
for
it. But
sure, and we're gonna show you.
she had like a
It's
spark
insane.
outfit on. She sang "I Will Survive," which was,
Yeah, and it was like it wasn't even like
and the power behind her voice.
like you watch that. It's like this girl is not in a high school talent show. She was on America's Got Talent,
And she
she's
won
got
Most
the golden
Creative.
buzzer. Like
she won
that-
most creative.
good. Like she should have won every single category, most talented, creative, whatever
Yes.
it may be. But she took. I knew nothing about like Veronica or the show or anything like that, but I can't imagine like anyone else playing that role.
Yeah.
Because Emily, it just came so easy to her, and her talent is so unmatched. It's just crazy.
And I know at one point, it was between me and Emily for both roles. So I was up for Veronica, she was up for Chandler, and then vice versa. But I cannot
No.
picture myself. I cannot picture her being anybody
Right.
except for Veronica, because the way she brought that role to life is just phenomenal. And
Yeah. I think back on how we acted in October when we got, what was it, September, October, when we got our roles. And I think about now, it's like,
it's like, wow.
dude,
What were we? What?
the casting was impeccable for the show.
It was perfect.
Like, spot on.
I'm
for
gonna be very
everything.
honest. When we announced that we were doing Heathers, I thought Kira was gonna be Heather Chandler because she was Roxy in
Right,
Chicago.
that That was a huge thing, and I thought about that every single day. And when I got into my car after rehearsal, I'm like, I can't believe I wanted to be that role. Like, one thing I loved about theater is, right, like you were saying, you kind of become a whole new
Different person.
And although sometimes I can act a little bit like Roxy and Heather Chandler,
Sometimes.
I feel like there's some sort of like comfort in playing a character that is fully like you. And I'm not gonna say that I'm Heather Mack and like that's who I am. I don't wear a yellow blazer and a pleated skirt to school, and I don't follow around a queen bee, if you will. But like,
there's definitely like connections that you make towards the character.
There's like emotional connections with this character that I've never experienced before doing any production, and that's what makes this one so unique and different than anything else. So I think like it was very naive of me to sit there and be like, I want to be Heather Chandler because I've played roles like that before.
Yeah.
Like,
I got it.
Okay. Okay. So have most people, but like, it was kind of a step out of my comfort zone for me.
And I feel like that's the best part about theater is stepping out of your comfort zone and discovering what else you can do.
Right.
Like, you're so much more. Like, you could do it. Like, you could do Chandler. You could definitely do Chandler. But you can also do Mac. You could do Duke. Like, you could do it.
I talked about this briefly in my interview with the video.
OAV.
Yeah,
right?
that
which hasn't been released yet. The official recording of Heather's will be released eventually. I don't know when. Tristan, you're involved with AV. Do you have any spoilers?
I don't really know when it's gonna come out, but it's almost like, you know, it's right there.
I don't blame them. There's a lot of...
Yeah, there's a lot of editing, a lot of footage. Yeah. There's a lot. But
what I was like trying to say before, in the interview, it was crazy. I've never like been interviewed before ever.
It was so
I was
professional
just, like,
too.
It's like so professional.
Like green
and I
screen
was like,
behind and everything.
Oh my God, what do I say? But we touched briefly on Mac. That's really what they focused on. Like, how are you the character? How's the character you? How are you not? Whatever. And I told them, like, there were days where I left school, got in my car, and just sobbed for an hour. Like, I was just sitting here, like, sobbing because the show was so hard. Like, obviously physically to put on because we're in masks all day and we're, like, having to social distance and we can't do the show to our fullest potential, and that's so infuriating, especially with it being our last show. But the show itself is so, like, hard. It's a very hard topic.
It's a very tough show.
Very tough show. And like I said, there's a lot of similarities that I have and a lot of different ways that I connect with my character that are unfortunate. But, like, it was a learning experience.
Yeah.
And with that comes, like, great, like, there were days, Tati can attest to this, I walked off stage and I was like, I can't do this.
Bye.
And it was hard, but I think...
And then plus the dancing on top of it.
Right. I think that there's nothing like this production. To kind of go back to what we were saying before, I'm just gonna, like, hone on that. There's nothing like this specific production.
With this specific cast.
Right. Yeah. At this specific time
there's so many
in our
different
lives,
ways.
like,
to play certain characters, especially with yours. A lot of the time she's played ditzy, like Karen from Mean Girls.
Right, and
very
that was
much
another
up in the air. But you played a more serious one, and you like owned in on her actual mentality and stuff, and what she was feeling and her emotions out there. And beautiful.
Yeah, that was like a difficult thing for Emily too, because I didn't know anything about the show, so I wasn't going based off Heather Max that I've seen. Whereas Emily, the Mac that she pictured was the ditzy was that she's seen before. Like the ditzy clueless, like does this, but it's like, listen, also this is a very difficult subject, but listen, this girl tries to kill herself in the middle of the show. Like, I'm not gonna sit there and play a dumb blonde. First of all, I'm not a dumb blonde, so I don't know what that's like. But also, like, she tries to commit suicide.
Yeah.
So
Like,
some
in the
point,
middle of the show,
you
on
need to
stage.
realize that this isn't just a pretty girl in a pretty skirt and a pretty blazer and a pretty cheerleader outfit. Like, no, this is a character that's difficult, and there's so many layers to it.
Yeah.
Like, Chandler, it's funny because there's a whole song talking about how Chandler is that. You know, she's this pretty girl that no one understands. When in reality, that was a fake suicide note. Like that was written by someone else.
Yeah.
But that song itself makes me think a lot about like how true that is.
Yeah.
You know, like a girl like that in any
And like we don't really
social
get
setting.
a lot of Chandler's true personality outside of school. So that's what's fun about her too. 'Cause,
Right.
like you play around with it. Like at some points I was sympathizing, other points I was cackling on stage. Usually at Emily.
Right. Right.
Which is the best part. But it's like you can just play around with the character and make it your own. And that's the best part about the whole show.
I think
Right.
one thing that's interesting, like from an audience perspective, is like how refreshing this whole view on mental health and like how it ties with schools like
Yeah.
is right now. It's really refreshing to watch
Yeah.
that. Was there at one point like, wow, like we're handling this serious topic in front of like I guess like all of your peers?
That hit me right during Tech Week. When the show really comes to life during Tech Week, because you see the lights, we have the live musicians there with us, we're doing the choreography, costumes are involved, props are involved. So that's really when the show, any production, comes to life, you know. So with that, and that was the first time during Tech Week where I had done my music number and really like
She killed it.
Did it.
She killed it. Every single time was different though.
and
And every single time had so many different emotions running through it.
So
And
it was like during that Tech Week where the show comes to life, and that's when it really hits you. Like, we're singing a song about teen suicide. We're singing a song about a mean girl who killed herself, right? I'm crying on the floor with a pill bottle in my hand, trying to get it open and overdose. Like, and that's so.
And not even that, right
unfortunately
after that.
relevant.
Yeah.
Right after that, somebody comes in and tries to convince her to kill herself.
Right, and then someone comes in and convinces me not to kill myself.
So it's like
it's
real stuff that's
yeah, it
happening.
was like that's really when it hit me during Tech Week, and then when we had our first audience,
Which was the Wednesday show
it
for their
really
peers.
hit that we have people watching us put this intimate production together, and we're sharing it with people, and basically we're sharing our hardship, and we're sharing our frustration, and we're sharing all this emotional baggage with these high school students.
Yeah.
And you don't know who's going through the same stuff. You don't
Right,
know what's
and
going on in a
that's-
person's mind.
That's what's very
And
intriguing
that's
about it.
what's exactly because you don't know who
And
exactly
again, it's just
like this.
relevant.
It
like-
just needs to be talked about more. And I feel like we should have a more in-depth show on mental health. And
Right.
definitely, like, if you are feeling
Maybe
certain
next
ways-
week we could do that as a good carry on from the show.
Yes, like follow up with like hotlines and stuff. for
Right. I think
however
that
you're
I think that this is a whole different conversation that we should wait for Lewis and Emily to be here
Yes.
for. And we hate to leave you guys with this like
overall,
kind of cliffhanger on
Yeah.
mental health and like
Overall,
all
the
this
show was
stuff,
very
but
fun.
Heather's
Basically
was a
just-
beautiful production, and I'm so sorry for anyone who wasn't able to see it in person because, like we said, there's truly nothing like it.
it's just
Hey,
every
can't-
production is unique. Ours has a very special place in our hearts, and I mean, we'll never be able to put
We'll
on another
never
production
forget it,
of that.
and,
We'll never forget.
It'll be on
Thank-
YouTube soon.
Yes,
So
thank
that'll
you
be
guys
something.
so
Thank you guys
much for
so
listening to
much
us
for
talk
tuning
about our
into our
beautiful
Heather show,
musical.
and we will see you soon. Thank you and goodbye.
Thank you. See you next week.
See you next week.
Everything I do gonna be funky.